So we've come back out after a bit of lunch now and just having a bit of a walk around. I've brought Brian down to the Great Wood along the side of Downwind Water, and it's a lovely day. We're getting some beautiful light back in the hills. That sort of haze and mist is still sort of hanging round, but there's some lovely directional light now, and what I've actually been spotting is some lovely backlit trees. So yeah, I've been standing quite a way back using the 70-200 to zoom right into it, and again using the crop mode to get in that little bit tighter, because there's some lovely branches. I think it's a larch tree. It is a larch tree. And it's got that sort of golden glow about it, although it's lost all the colour obviously at this time of year, and it's just got the really brown, dead looking pine needles left on it. But it's got that sort of glow about it. And I think it'll make a nice either 16:9 or a square crop, something like that, just to bring out those details and section it off from everywhere else. I'm not getting the lower section in because it's quite messy and there's lots of shrubs and smaller trees on the floor. So I'm going in about halfway up, and I'm gonna either letterbox it, as I said, or make a square crop of it. But I think it'll work out really, really well. If it has, I'll pop it up on screen now. Alongside that, there's also a silver birch which was doing exactly the same thing. Lovely backlight, and it's just behind that the larch tree that I was just shooting. So I'm gonna pick out a few details with that as well. And the good thing about it is, although it's got sky above it, there's enough room to kind of crop in, and behind it is the dark sort of cliff side which just separates it from everything else. And I think again that'll make a really nice shot. Seems to be the way of things today that I'm doing a lot of these sort of tight-in shots, and it's just one of those days where there's so much haze that going for the tighter shot seems to work better than the wider landscape. But really, really enjoying it. It's not that often I use the 70-200 very often, to be honest, so it's good to get out with that and get a bit more photos that are a bit different from my normal. So, since we came out to this Great Wood location, we found this stump, and Brian started shooting it, and there's some lovely patterns in it. So what I thought I'd do, I'm going to try and take a shot as well, just to steal his shot. I mean, I've learnt from the best. So, here it comes. So yeah, I thought I'd pinch his shot. And because there's some lovely patterns and textures in this tree trunk. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in close with the 70-200 again and probably focus stack it, because there is sort of ridges and crevices that sit further back, so it might be just a case of taking a few shots, stacking it in post just to get the best. I think, to be honest, I've taken a landscape sort of orientation shot, but I don't know whether it'll be a square crop or I'll leave it landscape yet. I don't honestly know, but to cover all bases, I'll focus stack it and see how it comes out. But yeah, it looks absolutely stunning. There's lovely patterns and shapes in it, and I think with this light as well, it's just adding to it. Lovely sort of golden light shining on it, so it is actually adding to the composition itself.
Is it glorious?
It's glorious! So you can see where I'm kind of aiming, there's like two eyes almost in the pattern, so that's centre of my composition there. And there's lovely sort of waves and ripple patterns in the bark itself. It's just absolutely stunning. So I couldn't resist taking a shot of it. So yeah, as you can see, there's lots of different patterns and shapes in this bark all over the place. And as you can see, it's not level. It kind of slopes off in different places, and there's lots of little crevices and stuff like that in there. So you really, to get the best of it, I'm having to focus stack it to make sure it's all sharp right the way through. As I said before, I think maybe I've got the option of either going landscape or square crop. Square crop might be the one I go for, but always take the 2 shots. If you take landscape, you can always crop in later, whereas if you go in too tight, you've got no room for manoeuvre. So yeah, I would always give yourself that little bit more room. Ooh.
Steady.
Steady on. It's been, ooh, I'm away again.
Steady.
I'm away again. Be down the hill in a minute.
Steady Eddie.
Well, it's been a cracking day, hasn't it, today?
It's been brilliant. What a laugh. Really good.
Fun. Up at Lat Rig this morning, and then we've had a walk along the side of Downwind Water here. It's been
nice. It's been different because we got all that rain the other day. And then we started off this morning at Lat Rig. We were hoping for the sunrise.
Yeah.
And some better light. But the light was all right.
Hoping for a sunset as well, but that hasn't materialised either. Really, I don't think it was going to happen either because the
that's it disappeared now.
Sky's cleared out, hasn't it?
Yeah. That's it for today.
But it's been one of those days where it's been just a long lens shot day, really. A lot of them I've taken has just been long lenses picking stuff out.
Because we've had that atmosphere and we've had lots of layers because there's been haze all day.
To be honest, this is the clearest it's been all day, and it's the end of the day.
Yeah.
There's only a bit of haze left back in the valley up the top there now, and that's been it. But yeah, been cracking fun, mate.
Good fun.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah.
Right, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care and see you soon. And if you haven't seen his channel, check Bri's channel out. See you again soon. Take care. Ta-da. Well, good morning and welcome to another video. So I'm back out with Bri Barnham again this morning, and we're checking out this the old mill that I've been to before. I'll leave a link up above to the last video I did from here. So I just thought I'd bring him down and show him this location. Just having a walk around and trying to find a shot. Now the last time I was here there wasn't enough water in, and I think that's kind of the case again this time. It needs a lot of water. It really needs to be after quite a downpour, I think. So this is really raging, just to give it more interest, because the problem you have is including enough of the foreground element, which is basically the water, because what you have is you've got sky either top left and right corners at the top of the frame, and it's getting the perspective high enough to look down into the water and eliminating those two bright spots at the top of the frame. And I think the only way really to do that is to have enough water in the bottom of the scene so you can actually tilt the camera down far enough. I had similar issues last time I was here. I will actually get the shot one of these days when I actually come here when there's enough water. But it's one of those, it's still a nice shot to try and at least get a reference shot, play around with and see what you can come away with. I've seen a couple of shots. I've taken one roughly where I was last time, and I've seen another shot further upstream, actually looking back down the river, which I didn't really do last time, so I might experiment with that as well. I'll take it out of the camera and I'll try and point out what I was talking about getting enough water in the frame. So, if you can see it, which hopefully you can, just along the bottom of the frame here is where the river is actually running. And I don't actually think there's enough water flowing through the seam down the bottom here to give enough interest. In these top corners it's difficult to see on here, but if I bring that back out far enough, you see how the sky starts to creep in at the top, just the very top there. So I haven't really got a lot of movement. And if I come in closer, the top of the chimney on the actual mill is almost at the top of the frame, and it seems to almost constrain it. Now if I come any closer and point the camera down, I'm going to have the same issue where I cut a bit of that chimney out, but I'm not getting enough of the water in, which is why I'm saying I think it needs a lot more water flow in here, just so it fills the bottom of the frame a bit more and gives more interest, so that I can give myself enough room at the top of the frame. Now it's going to be bad to see, but I've put it in portrait orientation just so I can show you what I mean about the water flow. You see how much more water I can get in the frame by going into portrait orientation. That's what I really need in the landscape shot, is more of the water flow in the bottom end of the frame. The only way I can actually get the look I want is to put it into portrait orientation, but then I'm not quite convinced it looks too tight as a portrait shot. It needs to be that landscape shot for me, but that's the kind of look that I would have wanted with the landscape orientation. Again, if we had more water flow in the bottom there, I don't think it would be an issue. I'll try and pop both images up on screen so I can kind of show you the difference between the two though.